So here we are at the left coast edge of the end of another day. We're June 9th, I think. And Georgians in black neighborhoods can't vote, or certainly had a more difficult time than in other precincts. So justice really is at issue in America. The artists I know and love have taken to the streets and are making these amazing pieces and capturing iconic moments. And what I pray from my vantage point is the turning in American history toward human history. Maybe in these moments we remember our humanity. It seems to be happening in places so significant. I am moved by who is speaking out, and I am moved by the way we are paying attention to the numbers around Black lives. I was at a MOAD talk last week, the week before, and my friend Deborah, she said, at the end, in conversation with an artist it was an intergenerational conversation about all things, art and life and expression. And, she said, if you walk into a room, if you've been invited into a room and you sit down at the table and there are no black people there, get up and leave. Wait till that organization has done something to get black people at the table. That the struggle of being the first and the only, is unconscionable now. It really is. Black people have always been so, generous and loving. There's a meme, what did we do to you? We raised your children and fed you food and helped you when you couldn't take care of yourself, and you hate us. So I continue with my bodhisattva training, and I look at the ocean and all the life and death she holds inside of her. And I remember the stories of people who would much rather be chained together under those waters than enslaved in these Americas. I don't think that's the solution now. Now it's uprising. Now it's revolution. Now it's take to the streets and be as peaceful as peace can be for as long as possible, and pay attention to economic abilities to shift and change focus. Somebody sharing somewhere, that Walmart is vowing not to rebuild in places where there will be no police force, and that is enough reason to abolish police force. And I'm not saying we don't need law and order, but we do not need it growing up from the tree it is grown from. Like growing up from the roots of racism, we don't need that. We need nonviolent communication. We need mediation skills. We need whatever the fear-mongering programming of these young cops in the academy, and whatever the bullying tactics are that get good people to go along to get along, that must be ferreted out. That has to be eradicated. It's a cancer. It has to be just like chemotherapy. That's the treatment that we have, right? Radiation and chemo. We kill all of the cells that are a problem inside the body and pray that the host has enough strength to recreate a living life without a rot gut, cancerous racism inside of it. Anyway, I appreciate these moments when I say out loud things I've been thinking in my silent head most of the day. I have professional interactions on Zoom, and I'm beginning to say more in meetings that I'm invited to, but it is a time of reflection for me. I think a lot about the regrets I don't have with what I have done with my one true beautiful life. And I remember feeling as soon as my first son was born, I very dramatically died on the table after I saw his dad holding him and his big brother looking over. And I think I took a picture even then. I was trying to capture the miracles. And then I flatlined or whatever. And that would have been okay. The black men, I had my chance to be with and love and raise and learn from and listen to. And the women those men are connected to, their mothers, they were deep and loving, talented, focused educators in so many ways, in so many places. And I learned so much. And I have opportunities to look at where I just missed my family too. And when your family makes you choose between the family you made and the family you come from, not by any kind of overt ultimatum, but by the practices and conversations of well-meaning racism, benign racism. If you've ever heard somebody say, I like the good ones, that's racist. And so I look in my own life, where is the privilege, where is the racism, where is the internal bias, where is the training, the carefully taught training from South Pacific, I think I miscredited it to the King and I, the Rogers and Hammerstein story of you have to be carefully taught. When we come into the world, we are big sponges. We're focused on putting our internal reality together. You know, by eating and sleeping and pooping and eating and sleeping and pooping and screaming when we need one of those things attended to. And then everything else, after we put our body together in that magic way that a body gets put together without any conscious knowing, all the rest is learning. And we learn from the people we believe love us. And when I worked at Lincoln Child Center for a while, which 150-year-old orphanage turned social service agency for kids the systems had failed. You know, kids as young as 4 who'd had 15 different placements, been tied to a tree and raped by every male member of their family. Cruelty by placement parents and by circumstance and by drugs and by poverty and by whatever those stories and experiences are when a person encounters real love, unconditional love. Give somebody a sandwich when they're hungry, hand them $20 when they ask you for change. Learn their name. Notice where they are when you see them. When you engage with human beings, like as a human being, when you engage with human being as a human being, all manner of miracle is present. And if you choose to religiousize that, that's that where two or more are gathered. There's something bigger that's at operation than when you're in community or communion with someone you feel loves you. You can rest if you're tired. You can eat if you're hungry. You can cry if you've bottled everything up. You can listen to yourself as you talk out loud and share the burden of what you've been carrying. And the grace that descends on the two of you in that communication, you know, the thing that makes you feel stronger after sharing, after feeling connected, the thing that fuels you and gives you juice and helps you get through the next bit of hard stuff doled out. That's God. Or the goddess. I like the goddess, you know, because I'm a woman who loves women. I like the goddess. And she's always the earth, right? Earth, air, fire, water. Earth, air, fire, water. And the metal we make of it. Coronavirus is a disease of the inflamed lungs. Lungs are where we carry grief. Kaleo Ching, my Qigong teacher, and Elise, they have these beautiful YouTube videos that you can follow along with them. And amazing books, and a loving heart, and an aloha spirit, and just a gorgeousness with which they engage in the world. And they're still here. These master teachers are still on this earth. So if you can avail yourself of the healing they provide, it helps me every day to have known them, to know them now, to carry them in imagery and to watch their video. Like, there's so many good, beautiful things that people are putting into the world right now. Things that say, love one another. That's what the rallying cry. That's what inspires human beings. The hope of Barack Obama, the nonviolence of Martin Luther King, the truth of Cesar Chavez asking for some recognition of the people who bow and bend and create the first level of the planting and the growing that gives us food and nourishment. King is a student of Gandhi. Mother Teresa claiming her place with the poorest of people. I had my ministers, Marvin K. White and O.G. Rev, the hood preacher who doesn't have a building but has a heart that takes him into tent cities all around the Bay. engaging with real people, asking them what they need, and then asking us as his community, hey, could you order a sandwich from Subway for the folks I'm going to talk to today? It's spirit work with integrity. It's a sharing of gift and vision and courage and hope. It's World Oceans Day, and this is the ocean. This is the mother of all the oceans, they say. The stories tell me. This is the left coast edge of what is left of America. Failed social experiment or not. It is an idea gained by some atrocity. And up to 45 has managed, even in its darkest times, to remain reasonably inspirational. But this now, please register to vote. Please get your people out. Please mail in your ballots early. Please vote blue, like the ocean, so there will be an ocean and an earth left. You can't tell from the same thing I always tell you when it's so beautiful. But the clouds are crisp and pink. And before they turn into their gray, which happens as the sun goes further down, I will let you go to dreams. Dream with me about a world that works for everyone in it. Hang out with Kuan Yin in your head. It's helping me remember to sit like a goddess, like a bodhisattva, like someone made of nothing but love and compassion, just waiting for people to remember that's all they're made of. All people. No matter the love or circumstance that gets you into the world, that breath that fills you, that breath that gives you life, that's yours. That's yours to breathe. And while the earth has atmosphere, we get to do that. Make your breath count. Use it for love and compassion. Thanks for sharing the sunset with me. I'm going to post this on YouTube as a sunset soliloquy. And the more the stories are about Zuckerberg doing things with 45 to enable him a run at a second term, the more I think I have to move away from this platform. If you know of the platform created by Black engineers that has a social justice reality to its core, if there are any ex-Googlers out there, that's what we need next. Someplace to go. Because even though I've built this life on Facebook for 11, going on 12 years, I can't stay in conversation with people who still make the cruelty of this current accidental president, treasonous president, inhumane president, reality star, maybe. I can't. I have to distance myself from people who still are holding on to willfully holding on to their ignorance and racism in order to continue to support him. So help me find the right platform, will you? I'll think it's YouTube for a minute, because they really are limiting his ability to destroy people. Blessings on your courage and our collaborative remaking of the world. I'll see you tomorrow, maybe.